Exercises 5 and 6 on page 354 are really the stuff of bonus questions. But in case you get asked this, the first one says solve for b, and b is given as the top value here on top of sigma. As you know, the index here, x equals 2, these are the terms, right? So you're going to have terms 2 through b, and you don't know what b is, but this is the expression that defines it, and this will be the sum. So if we were to look for a1, or our first term, we would plug 2 in here, and we get 2x is 4, so 4 taken away from 23 is 19. So 19 would be our first term, and we would have a series of terms until we get to term b, and then if we added those all together we'd get 91. So we have to figure out what b is. Not as hard as it looks once you get going on it. This one is a little bit crazy. It gives the expression 5, so really it's a series of 5s, and we add up 5. How many 5s? Well, we don't know. It's from term A to term B. We don't know what those are, so our our result here, our sum, is going to be given in terms of A's and B's and maybe 5s. We'll solve that one. It won't be that hard. So what I'm going to do for each of these is give you hints and then ask you to pause the video and see if you can figure it out before we resume and solve it in front of you. So the first one, number 5, I'm going to draw it out here. There's the sum. It goes from the index of x equals 2 to b, and the expression that defines each of the terms is 23 minus 2x, and the sum of all that equals 91. So we're going to use a formula from our toolkit. The formula that we should use, well, what do we know? We know the sum of n. That's 91. Do we know n? No, but we can derive it out of b and 2 here somehow. Do we know our first term? That's easy to figure out. We can figure out the first term by plugging the 2 into this formula. I think we already did that. It's 19. Do we know L? Do we know the last term? Well, the last term would be given if we plugged b into this formula, 23 minus 2b. So if we did that, we might be able to use this formula. Yeah, let's use this formula, and let's just plug in b or something to sub in for where n is. I'll show you what I mean. S of n equals n over 2 a plus L. So what do we know? We know S of n is 91. Do we know n? Not exactly, but we can figure it out. B and 2 are given here. Now if we look back at some of our earlier assignments, we remember that in this one, bring that closer to the camera, in this one there were 100 terms, because we went from 1 to 100, so that's 100 terms. So 100 minus 1 gave us 99, so that one minus that one plus 1 gave us the number of terms. 100 minus 1 plus 1 equals 100. Over here, remember, we had 101 terms. 200 minus 100 plus 1. It looks like it's setting us up to say, hey, there's 100 terms there, 200 minus 100, but we've got to count the 100 itself, as well as 101, 102, 103, and so forth. So there's 101 terms there. So the top one minus the bottom one plus 1. So if we go back here, the top one minus the bottom one plus 1 will tell us the number of terms, which is n. So the top one, b, minus the bottom one plus 1. That's what n is. So we're going to put that ugly thing in here for now. That's all over 2, multiplied by a times L, or a plus L. A, we knew that if we plug 2 in here, 2x becomes 4, taken away from 23 is 19. So a was 19, and L, well, L, it happens if we plug b in here. If we plug b in here, we get 23 minus 2b, and we can't take that anywhere else, so let's put that in there, 23 minus 2b. So that looks ugly, but we'll clean that up really quickly. 91, wait a minute, pause that video and finish it yourself before I continue, because this is too easy now. Okay, you're back. You didn't pause it, did you? You should have. Anyways, b minus 2 plus 1 is the same as b minus 1. Over 2 times 19 plus 23 minus 2b. So 19 plus 23 is 42, so that's 42 plus 2b. Multiply both sides by 2 to get rid of this fraction. We get 182 equals b minus 1 times 42 plus 2b. We can FOIL this together, and 182 now equals 42b first. Outside is plus 2b squared. Inside minus 42. Last minus 2b. Make sure we got that right here. No, we didn't. We made a mistake here. It's supposed to be minus 2b. That should be a minus 2b. That should be a minus 2b. And that would be minus 2b squared. 42, and that would be 2b squared. And that will be plus 2b. I got to get my minuses and pluses straight. There we go. So the minus sign gets carried through there, and this is our new foiling. And this foiling can get cleaned up, and it is 44b minus 2b squared minus 42. That's 182. Let's move it all over to the left-hand side, and I get 2b squared minus 44b plus that on this side, and I get plus 224 equals 0. I can simplify this by dividing both sides by 2, and I get b squared minus 22b plus 112 equals 0. Then I look for factoring opportunities. I look for numbers that add up to negative 22 and multiply to 112. 112 is 80 plus 32, both of which are factors of 8, so 8 will go into 112 14 times. 14 and 8 add up to 22. So b minus 8 times b minus 14 equals 0. So b equals 8 or 14. So I get 8 or 14 as my two possible values for b, and that's what we were doing, is solving for b. So that one's done. We're going to do exercise 6 on a separate video.